guys, we are very sorry, we're trying to connect with the people in the Gambia, which is been very difficult, but hopefully we will get there. Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, Lamin, sorry,
So
Ansumana is
Ansumana is still not.
no Ansumana. I've just sent him, through Facebook, but it looked like Ansumana, I don't know whether I bother. say,
So Ansumana still
oh,
difficult to join.
well, I've sent it now through this thing. I've shared him, so he have seen it. So hopefully he's gonna try. Let's try this thing and see. Yeah, how was your weekend?
Alhamdulillah, it's going fine.
Oh, that's good. That's good, Lamin. That's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. So have you
And your,
been to
and your,
church? Have you been? Yeah, good,
and
good.
yours?
My weekend is good. I've been busy shopping, cooking, cleaning the house.
Cooking?
Yes.
Cooking?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
All
So
right.
yeah, I like cooking. I love cooking. Every day I do cooking.
All right.
Yes, it's nice. You can cook. Yeah. So yeah. So how is work? How, how is work, Lamin? No, Lamin is gone. Yeah, welcome, Dauda. Dauda Jallow, how are you?
I'm here. I'm here.
Yeah, yeah, it went, So
No, no, no. Ansumana sent me a message. I was trying to check.
okay, Answana, yeah. Well, I send him through this thing, through Messenger. So if he click that, he should be able to see. But
I don't know.
yeah, and even Fatmata, I've invited. Yes, Lamin, let's start this thing, Lamin, uh, we could start with you, before we get Answana.
Okay.
Yes, yes, first of all, Lamin, thank you so much, for coming to this program. As you can see, is something which is very new, and the purpose of us coming here every weekend to talk about issues with disability, because we feel that in the Gambia, we need to do more advocacy about disability, because if you
Okay.
check at the moment, there are lots of people with disability, especially this past rainy season. You see how people struggle, people who are visually impaired, people who have physically disabled, people who have other type of disabled. It's always very difficult for them to mobile around, and that is something which that we want to come here and start talking about it. The purpose of this uh, platform is where people come, they talk about their stories, they talk about their achievement, they talk about their strength and weakness, they talk about things which is affecting their life. And I think the more we talk about disability issues, the more it's going to help for the policy makers, to be able to, to change their attitude towards us, because we know that, currently, there are no laws which, that guide disabled people, in the Gambia, because and we know that the laws are very, very important. Because from my area here where I live, as a person with disability, I got some support. I got access. If I go to a place which is not accessible, I can complain. I can tell them they have to make sure that that place is accessible. When I go out, people don't look at me, as a wheelchair user. They look at me as a human being, like other people. So all these things are very, very important. And whatever I am doing, people support me, because the law is there. So these are some of the issues which they are lacking in the Gambia, and I think it's high time where people come here, we start talking about it. We are not talking here to fight with anybody, but we are here to educate people. Because if you check, Lamin, you are in the Gambia, you are working with people with disability. You've seen some of their problems that they are facing every day. You've seen that some of them have been discriminated. Maybe the people who are discriminating them is because they are ignorant. And the best thing, to educate to those people is where we have to come here and start talking. So basically, our platform is that's the thing, we normally do here. We have our panels here. One of our panelists today, due to family commitments, he won't be gonna be here. Adama, our Camara also, she lives in Germany. She also has physically disabled. But because she had some family commitments, she's not gonna come. You know about Ansumana Lamin. Ansumana, he lives in the Gambia. He's a physically disabled person. So he also knows some of the things that is affecting the life of people with disability. You also know there is also one guy, Khalifa Sao. Khalifa Sao is also a physically disabled person. He lives in Bristol, United Kingdom. So me and him and Ansumana, we were one time teaching at school for the blind. That was long time, around 2006, 2007. So basically, Lamin, uh, we are here, for people to advocate. We normally call it disability empowerment. Disability empowerment is where, we come here, we talk about ourselves, talk about issues that affecting us. So generally, that's what we normally do every weekend. And thank you so much for coming here today, because I know that you have busy times, you have family, you do other kind of jobs. But when we spoke to you, you didn't say anything which that could make you not to be able to attend this thing. So you were so happy on this thing. So Lamin, first of all, I would like you to introduce yourself. Who is Lamin Sonko?
To you, Usman Jallow. Thank you very much for the program. I am Lamin Sonko. I am a sign language interpreter and the head of sign language in Gambia. I work for the hard of hearing. I'm also coordinating a support project supporting with eye cataract at the eye. That is a side activity because we want to make sure we reduce blindness. So we support children, vulnerable children that are having issues seeing. We support cataract cases, we support coma cases, and other eye conditions. We partner with CSI to support children and other stuff. So aside that, in my profession, I'm a interpreter. I've been doing sign language in the past 50 years or more. I think I started in 2011. And I enjoy the work. I'm originally from New York. I live in Larikuna, Savage.
Lamin, thank you so much for that brief introduction. Lamin, you said you work with the people with sign language. How long have you been working there?
I've been working as a sign language interpreter for 15 years. I work with the Deaf Association. During my introduction, I work as an interpreter.
Yeah. Are you there, Lamin?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, yeah. So you've worked with them for 15 years, that's long time, Lamin, Lamin, you've been working with these people doing sign language, trying to support the person with disability. That is very good, because that is something which, not everybody could do that, Lamin. Lamin, now you've done these things. What are some of the challenges that you've seen, people with hard of hearing are facing in the Gambia?
Thank you very much, Mr. Very important question. First of all, I would like to start with the number of that we have in the country. Currently, we have
Lamin, sorry, Lamin, you are breaking a little bit. You are breaking. I don't know.
Are you hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you now. Yeah.
Saying that, thank you very much for the question. I would like to start with the number of interpreters that we have in the country. We have 4 sign language interpreters in the country. 4. Only 4 existing sign language interpreters in the country. But we have other interpreters. Due to the little number of interpreters that we have, in the country, we have other teachers that are teaching in other deaf schools. We're using them as interpreters. Because approximately we have over tens of thousands of deaf signers in the country. We don't have the accurate number, but we know that we have tens of thousands of deaf signers in the Gambia, and you know very well that 4 interpreters cannot suffice all of this number. So this is the number one challenge that we have in the country. And these interpreters cannot interpret for all the deaf people in the country. That is the number one challenge that we have in Gambia. So we know that deaf people, they need to be integrated into the society. Society need not to sideline them, and to bring them in the society, we need sign language interpreters to help bridge the gap. So we, as interpreters, unfortunately, deaf people, they don't have access to sign language interpreters at police stations. They don't have access to sign language interpreters at hospitals. They don't have access to sign language at courthouses. When I say this, I mean, it means if the deaf person is involved in police case, the deaf person will be responsible to hire the sign language interpreter to interpret for him or her at the police station. When the deaf person is sick, it is dependent on the deaf person looking at the deaf person has lack of employment, lack of education. But that situation forced them to hire a sign language interpreter to go with the deaf person to the hospital for the deaf person to have access to sign language interpreter. So we have deaf people having challenges. Right now, deaf people have issues. They will need to contact the deaf association, that's Jallow, to provide sign language interpreter. Now, we inform them is that we want either the police, the Uganda police force, under the of the IGP, to either bring their police at the deaf association to be trained, or they employ sign language interpreters at major police stations. The same thing applies to the hospital sector. We also wanted that the Minister of Health, under the Minister Dr. Ahmad Lamin Sonko, we want them to also either bring their personnel at the deaf associations to be trained on sign language, so that those people will be posted at different areas, at different hospitals, to be provided interpretation. But now, if they cannot do that, let them employ a sign language interpreter to be stationed at Banjul, the teaching hospital, or Ndemban, or Kanifing General Hospital, and few other general hospitals we have in the country. Because we have Bansan General Hospital, we have Basse also, we have Farafeng General Hospital. So right now, when deaf people have issues, they don't have access to sign language. They are forced to go with their family members to provide them with interpreter service. So sometimes we will be at Combo. The deaf person will call us from Farafenye and ask us to provide interpreter service for the deaf person, it being in a police station or a hospital or another settings. So what we want government to do is that we want government to come and partner. We know the Deaf Association has been here, has been training sign language interpreters with the support of donors from outside. Gado has been doing that for the past 20 years. And Gado, with due respect, Gado did all their best. But we all know with these issues of donor fatigue and donor issues, donors come and go. So right now, the Deaf Association is unable to train and employ interpreters. Right now, I am not doing interpreting work. I'm not having payment from sign language interpreting. I am not having payment. When I say I'm not having payment from sign language, I'm only working as a freelance. I'm not receiving salary from my interpreting work. The place I receive salary is my work at the hospital, at the eye clinic. They're not paying me, but I'm working with a project that is supporting the operation of children with cataract. That is sustaining me and my family at the moment. I'm paid if I provide service for organizers of events. I act as a freelance interpreter. So when we inform the office of the PMO, Personal Management Office, we had meeting with them on several occasions. What we informed them was, when we used to have a project from England, the Association of Interpreters of England, they used to raise fund and send it in the Gambia. That fund we used to pay interpreters, and that stopped in 2001. That support stopped in 2001. So our salary was paid and was stopped in 2001. So now, before the project stops, we went to PMO with few other deaf people to inform them that interpreters in few months' time, interpreters will not be having payment, salary payment. What we want is we want government to introduce or to start paying or to start putting interpreters in government payroll system. Are you hearing me? We want government to start paying interpreters in government payroll system. How that works is that we have interpreters in a system, right? In a system of register, where we have interpreters' name, and the interpreters will be interpreted. We'll be interpreting for the deaf people across the country. When deaf people are sick, they will be available to interpret for them at hospitals. When deaf people are also having issues at police stations, interpreters will also go there to provide interpreter service. Right now, I'm not receiving payment, but I'm providing interpreter service both day and night. Sometimes when I'm at home, deaf people will come to my home before I go to bed. It's 12 a.m. because deaf people come with their problems and they want me to solve, and no one is paying me for that. But I'm just doing it because me person brings me to what I'm doing, and my other colleagues are doing the same thing. The other interpreters are doing similar things. So now what we want government to do is to employ interpreters at hospitals, police stations, courthouses, at the National Assembly also. During National Assembly sittings, deaf people also have right to have access to what has been said. Yes, sometimes people see me interpret at the State House. I am that was possible with the assistance of the Director of Press at the State House. So anytime HE is giving address to the nation, she will contact me and I will go there to provide interpreter, and I'm paid immediately after providing interpreter service. But now what we want government to do is to employ us. Maybe they should approach us and ask us to give them one person so that State House will employ that person. And when State House employs that person, instead of being paid the person after providing a service, the person should be under a payroll, whereby when president is giving address, the person will provide interpreter service for the deaf people. So this is what we wanted. We don't want the burden to be on the Deaf Association, because they cannot employ interpreters. They have only one project that is supporting them. So we want government to come and partner with the Deaf Association to support with the training of interpreters and employing. Training is one thing, but employing is another thing. Over the years, Jallow has trained several interpreters, but because they can employ them, a lot of them leave. And some of them travel to Europe. Because at some point, sometimes deaf people go with interpreters, and when they go, they don't come back. Some will go and come back and go back again. So we have lost many interpreters. Why? Because there is no system in place that will sustain and maintain interpreters in the country. We are the only few available in the country, but we want the trajectory to change. We want government to know that deaf people are also paying tax. When we go to the shop and buy something, we pay tax. When our compounds, we pay tax. We pay tax to the government. When we work, we pay tax to the government. And deaf people, their parents also have been paying tax to the government. So why not provide interpreter service to deaf people? When a deaf person is sick, sometimes, when ladies, we have very few female interpreters in the country. So usually sometimes there are some areas that are sensitive areas where male interpreters are not required to interpret. Preferably, they should not interpret in those settings. But because of the situation, we are forced to interpret in those situations, and that should not be. Deaf people are facing a lot of challenges. Because of lack of interpreter access is why deaf people are not integrated into the society. And we believe it should be governments, now that we have the disability law in place since 2021, signed by the President of the Gambia. We thank him for that, and we want to thank his government for doing that. We also want to thank the Gender Minister, on which we are under. We also want to thank them for leading the process. But now implementation is very slow. Implementation is very, very slow. Deaf people are lagging behind, looking at their challenges. Each passage with the has a challenge. But deaf people, their challenge is communication. We want people to come out to learn sign language. We want government to employ interpreters as state. Look at GRTS and QTV and other media houses. We don't have interpreters employed there. Yes, we thank QTV very well. The management, from the director general, We want to thank them very well for providing a space for deaf people to have at least access to information. But we want them to employ interpreters so that during normal news hours, we have interpreters to interpret for deaf people so that the information will become accessible to them. But now, the only thing that deaf people have access to right now is during the weekly news review. During the weekly news review, that Mr. Ade and Mr. Boch is hosting. We thank them very much for that because they have the heart to support deaf people. They provided the platform to support, to make sure at least deaf people have access to information. But deaf people are saying that's not enough because that comes every Sunday. It is recorded on Saturday and it comes every Sunday. So that's fine. We're very happy with that. And deaf people are also very happy. At least, you know, half bread is better than none. Half bread is better than none. But we want GRTS as a state broadcaster to please start employing. Dr. Ismail Assise, Information Minister, few weeks ago or months ago, last month, he instructed the Director General of GRTS to implement this thing. He said they want interpreters to be on the TV this month. That was in September, if I'm not forgotten. But September gone past, October gone past, and now we're in November now. Still now, deaf people, they don't have access to information. We had a meeting with GRTS. Yes, they said they will look into it. They will look for funding. But we want them to start something now so that next year, they will put it in their budget. When they put it in their budget, interpreters will be at the GRTS permanently from January. But who knows whether they add it in their budget? No one knows. Dr. Ismail Assise instructed the DG of GRTS that he wanted to see interpreter on GRTS before September ends. We are in November now. We are November 22nd, and still we have no sign language interpreter on GRTS. The people are facing a lot of challenges. And without sign language interpreters, they will not be integrated. They will not understand. They will not know. So they have to have interpreters at universities. We are happy that USET employs 1 sign language interpreter. Gambia College employs 2 sign language interpreters. We're very happy with that. The School of Education, the University of Education, we're very happy that they employ 2 interpreters. We're happy that USET employed 1 interpreter. We're very happy with that. So deaf people, at least in those areas, they will have access to interpreters. But other interpreters are freelance interpreters. They were just working as freelance interpreters because the project that was supporting ended. Let me stop here for now and wait for other questions. Thank you.
Lamin, I just wanted you to continue talking because it's very, very important because what you are saying here is something which, that what we are advocating, and that is very, very important because it's equality that we are fighting for. Inclusion is very, very important. You understand? Huh? Because as a disabled person, we feel that, in the Gambia, we have been excluded because the support is not there. Look at GRTS. You're talking about GRTS. GRTS is a state institution. You understand? It's their responsibility, to employ, a person, to interpret, sign language. Because as a media institution, even QTV, all those media institutions, is their responsibility to this thing. Because remember, those TVs is not only, people who can hear, do listen to or watch their TVs. The deaf people also, they are part of the nation. Because it's just what you have said, that is very, very important. Because a country which we have the disability law, but if these laws, they are not implemented, Lamin, still now we're going to face the same challenges. And thank you so much, Lamin. You're really doing very well. And I think the purpose of us coming here today to talk is, to mention, to talk about these issues, to make sure that, they hear about, what we are talking about, so that one day or the other, they will change their minds and perception. Because disability is very, very important. Because as a disabled person, you need that support.
Yeah. Let me for now. I want to listen. I want to remind the government that disability does not knock at anyone's door. Disability does not knock at anyone's door. We're seeing people are becoming disabled by day. We're seeing non-communicable diseases happening in the country in high scale. We're seeing number of accidents happening in the country. So disability does not knock at anyone's door. Let us make sure that we think disabled, that we think about people with disabilities, anything that we're doing. Anything that we do in the country, we have to make sure that we think accessible. When you are building a house, Build a house in a way that when a wheelchair user visited you, the wheelchair user will not be able to sit under the mango tree, but will sit in your house with due respect. Let us not sit with wheelchair users under the mango tree. Why? Because they cannot access our houses, because our houses have steps? No. We should not think that. Build a house in a way that when a wheelchair user visited you, you'll be able to have access to your house. Let us make sure we widen the toilet doors. Let us make sure public institutions, we make sure we put ramps there. Make sure provide sign language interpreters for deaf people. Make sure education is accessible and inclusive. Inclusive should not only be by mouth. Inclusive should not only be by mouth. It should be practicalized. Inclusivity means a country, a nation where people with disabilities see themselves equally as other people. But don't say inclusive. You are very much inclusive. You know, I think government sometimes they misunderstand inclusive. When I go to programs and I see inclusive, sometimes I see posters, I see inclusive. I think sometimes they are misunderstanding. That's what I usually say. Because when they say inclusive and you don't see any inclusive nature, any involvement person with disability in programs, that program is not inclusive. It's just inclusive by name, but it's not inclusive. And I reiterate this again. Disability does not knock at anyone's door. Please make sure you implement the law before you become disabled yourself. Yourself watching me. Thank you.
Oh, Lamin, that's so emotional, thank you so much. I know that, you have the passion, of what you are doing, because working with people with disability for 15 years, you know all the in and out of about disability, how they suffer. And I think that is very, very important. Lamin, thank you so much, for coming here, because that is very, very important. Remember, not everybody, who want to come here, not everybody who can come here and say what you have said. And this is something which, because we want people to listen to us. You understand that? Because the laws are very, very important. Today, if any issue that affect disabled people, even if you go to the police, nothing will happen because the law is not there. As you say, if people, who have hard of hearing, they have issues. If they have issues, if they go to the police, understand. So which means that they need somebody to interpret it, because if not, the police will not be able to write their statement. And I think that is very, very important. And, as you said, disability is something which, it could happen anytime. It doesn't matter, who you are, where you live, or the type amount of money you have. It can come at any time. And I think that is very, very important. So if we have a nation where we that is disability inclusive, it's going to help everybody, because in case if you have disability, that law is there to protect you, or is there to protect your family or your friend or everyone. Because who knows, today I am a physically disabled person, tomorrow I might be able to walk. Today somebody is walking, tomorrow they might be sick, they might not be able to walk. And I think that is very, very important. And these are some of the things, that people need to put, in their mind, that disability is something which, it could come at any time. Lamin, you've mentioned all these things. I would like you to demonstrate in sign language, because remember, the purpose of bringing you here is so that, our brothers and sisters who have hard of hearing, so that also they could be part of us, because we don't want to be a platform which, that when we are advocating, inclusive, whilst, we are segregating among our own fellow people with disability. Lamin. So if you could just summarize it in sign language, it's going to be very, 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 very good, Lamin. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I'm going to do All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Jallow. I've summarized it.
Yeah, thank you so much, Lamin. That was wonderful, Lamin. At least today, our fellow people with a heart of hearing, they will definitely know that, they have not left out, Lamin.
Yeah.
Lamin, this is very, very, very important, because when we talk about sign language, it's a way of communication. And if they cannot communicate, with people, it's going to be very, very difficult, because
Yeah.
remember, they live with their families. You understand? Huh? And if they go to a place like a hospital, or they go to a police station, or they go to even a government building, or even at the National Assembly, or even, you talk about GRTS, the national news, I think that is their responsibility, to employ somebody. That
Yes.
is not the responsibility of any other disability organization. It's the responsibility of GRTS, to employ somebody. Remember, they are having money. They are
Yes.
getting money through their advert. You
They have.
understand? Here, it's not like the disabled people who pay the person who interpret in our TVs. No, it's the TV owners, they themselves. I think it's, because the problem is that, Lamin, what I'm talking here now, can you interpret it, in the sign language while I'm talking? Because, Lamin, that is very, very important. Sign language is a way of communication. And for us to communicate with our fellow people of hard of hearing, they should be represented, in every aspect of, public places, in the Gambia, especially, in the government's, department, even in the enterprises, business owner. These are some of the things. Moreover, our national radio. Because, the thing is that now, if the national radio is not doing this thing, what about the business, the other radios, the private radios? They won't be able to do it, because the law is not there, because the national radio is not showing an example. So these are some of the issues, that's why, people with disability are suffering every day. Remember, if there is a news that said that, no, there is troubles, in the Gambia or anywhere, how are they going to hear it? They won't, because there is nobody to interpret it. So which means that people will be running away, and they will just be looking around. They don't know what is going on. And I think this is very, very important. I'm urging all national, whether it's a national or it's a private radio in the Gambia, it's high time for them to start thinking about employing people. Remember, the people with hard of hearing, they are human beings. They are part of the Gambia. They also, they pay tax equally like any other person in the Gambia. And I think that is very, very important. These are some of the things, that, you know, our policy makers, our stakeholders, our government, our families. Because remember, this is a fight for everybody. It's a fight for all. It doesn't matter, whether you are part of the government or you are part of a society or whatsoever. We all should come together to fight for this thing. Unless we have these laws, you know, you cannot do nothing. Because if an organization today want to challenge the government, or they want to challenge a business, entity, or a private radio, or even the national radio, if they want to challenge them, but these laws are not there. And if these laws are not there, it's going to be very, very difficult. Even if you go to the court, the judge cannot do nothing. And it's high time. Remember, we are in the 24th century. When people, will go and sit and discuss about our bill, they get money. Remember, it's not for free. Even the guy in the National Assembly sitting and discussing about our bill, they get paid for that. It's not for free. And I think it's high time, our policy makers, our stakeholders, to start thinking about this thing. Remember, this is not fair, because you are okay, so you think that now everything is okay. No, it's not okay. Because I, as a disabled person, I know how difficult it is when I was in the Gambia. Just today, we are trying to get hold of our fatoumata, but I think it's due to network. But if when I saw this picture today of fatoumata, like wheeling at the side of a pond, it was, it reminded me when I was in the Gambia, because I used to suffer a lot. I used to struggle during the rainy season. Sometimes, when it's only they put stone there where people have to step in, and you have your wheelchair. Your wheelchair is wider. You have to go in the ponds and the puddles. What happened then? The whole of your clothes, your hands, it all becomes dirty, and people are seeing it. Remember, because disabled people are not living alone. They are living with the families. They are living with communities. They go and participate. They participate in a nation building. It's better to educate, to support that disabled child than leaving them. Because if you support that child will be able to participate into nation building. That child will be able to get a job. When they get a job, they pay tax. There is no law that says that disabled people shouldn't pay tax in the Gambia. No, because when I was there in the Gambia, I was working and I pay tax. So, and I'm sure, all the other people also in the Gambia, they pay tax. I think it's high time we as the disabled community and our people, who are supporting us. Remember, there are people who are so passionate about disability issues, and they are able people. They are our families, our friends. They're working so hard, they always support us. They're always behind us. We really, thank those people. But, it's high time, we come out. Because remember, as a disabled organization, it's not only about workshops. This workshop, it won't, it won't change anything. Because since when I was in the Gambia, we all talk about this thing. This sensitization has to be more than that. It has to be more than that. It has to be something which where we put our voice out there, where the government, the policy makers, the community, the society, our compounds, everybody to hear what we are saying. Yeah, we have to come. We have to come. And as a nation, as a disability organization, we need to come together. We need to come together and start, talking, because the voice of disability, as I said, 70 years ago in the United Kingdom, you know, the life of people with disability was not, good as today. But what happened? What did they do? People stood up. People start talking. Every day they are talking. They are talking disability right. We have to do this thing for disabled people. And today the government listening to it. Today, as a disabled person, for me, I always said it. If you want to take me back to the Gambia, it's more like you are taking me to hellfire. Honestly, that's how I feel. Because I know that if you take me now, for me to live in the Gambia, it's more like that you have seized all my privileges, the privileges that I have here, because at the moment I have not seen any person with disability who is having those privileges. Access is very important for me as a wheelchair user. If I don't have access, I cannot get to where I want to go. And these are some of the things. I think people, sometimes they just tend to ignore, but they've seen these things. They've know how hard it is for a disabled child. If you go to social media, just recently, sometimes when I see pictures of people with disability, some people are crawling, other people they are struggling. Some people there are even visually impaired people, which even to get a white cane, it's very difficult. So these are some of the issues which that we definitely need to address. These are some of the issues which that people should be thinking. You don't go to bed and sleep without thinking about these things. We need to come out. We need to start talking. As a disabled person, as a family with a disabled child, as a friend, as a community, as a stakeholder, this is the high time. Remember, when all these stakeholders, the people comes, remember, the voice will be bigger and bigger. But without that, it's still not the same thing. Yeah, because even the MPs, if they debate, if they talk, and I learned that, the MPs, they have very good person, they talk about disability issue in the parliament. But again, it's the implementation. If that implementation is not happening, then it's zero. Because those laws, remember, since 2021, something that is being signed, still now, nothing is happening. Still now, nothing is happening. In fact, somebody was telling me a story that there was even one alcalde, because of he is visually impaired, he has to be removed. And that's not fair. But again, if people want to challenge that, if we want to challenge that to the government, If the laws are not there, we cannot challenge the government. And I think I'm urging all politicians, to start talking about us. It's just like one of my sister, the question she asks, about politician, Tukulorsi, what have you done for the disabled people? It's not what you are going to do, is what have you done for the past 10 years? What have you done for the person with disabilities in the Gambia? These are some of the questions that we should be asking to our politicians. But a politician will hold a rally, they will not even talk about us. And remember, even in that rally, you will see a disabled child struggling. You will, in fact, there are families of disabled people there. Remember, they are the people who vote. I think it's high time. Look, we are not here to fight, any politician. No, for me, I am talking for the right of my fellow people with disability, because I know how hard it is as a disabled person. I know that, today, me living in England, I know some of the things I get. I know some of the things that they support me, some of the things that help me, to be able to do what I want to do, to be able to wake up early in the morning, go to job, do my job, come home. Because if I don't have that support, it would have been very, very difficult. I was in the Gambia. It was very difficult. Sometimes you will, if you see my hands, if you see my hands, when I'm wheeling, they, they were so rough. See, sometimes even a wheelchair is very difficult. Moreover, now in the Gambia, a wheelchair, people have to buy a wheelchair. That social welfare where I used to go and repair my wheelchair is no more. It's no more. What is the ministry doing? What is the ministry doing? Remember, the number of, because as one of my colleagues was talking about, if we don't know the statistic of people with disability, it's going to be difficult. Because even if you put in the budget that disabled people need 5 million people, but you don't know the number of disabled people in the country, maybe that, the number of people that you suggested is more. So which means that 5 million is going to be small. And remember, look, we talk about inclusion in the Gambia. I've been hearing about inclusion since when I was in the Gambia. But is there any real inclusion in the Gambia for the person with disability? No. Because all maybe is when they go and organize seminars, workshops, they think that is all. A disabled child doesn't need that. A disabled child need that access. A disabled child need that access, to that building, to anywhere. A disabled child need, when they have issues, they need to be helped, they need to be counseled, they need to be supported. That disabled child, as Lamin was saying, when that disabled child go to the hospital, if the doctor doesn't understand that disabled child might be wrongly diagnosed.
Yeah. So let me.
So these are some of the issues, Lamin. I know that, if I start talking, Lamin, I'll be talking more,
No.
but let me get back to you, Lamin.
You will continue. Let me just interject here. During COVID-19, we approached Minister of Health to make sure their daily broadcasting, like their updates, we want them to be accessible to deaf people. But they turned a deaf ear to us. Have you ever seen during one of the press releases or during their press conferences where you've ever seen a sign language interpreter standing by the minister or the director of public health? Have you ever seen an interpreter standing by them? No, it is not. At some point, UN wanted to support the case, the process, but we don't know how it went. We approached them, they don't. We went to the ministry several times, but they don't even listen to us. Because we feel for our clients. We are symbiotic to deaf people. Deaf people cannot go without us, and we cannot go without deaf people. We are symbiotic to each other. So during COVID-19, which was a pandemic, we all know the seriousness of COVID-19. But given that, some of what we agreed, because once we know that the government was not helping, was not listening to us, we taxed interpreters ourselves, right? To just float the WhatsApp groups. We created several WhatsApp groups across the country. We make sure we learn from those things. We just send messages to them in sign language. We convert those messages into sign language. We send it to the WhatsApp group. This was how deaf people were able to get information. We also want to thank UN agencies for making some countless videos. With the support of those videos, with UN supported videos, we have interpreters also embedded in those videos. That also enables deaf people to have understanding. But when the government is giving their announcements, we want to stand by them, but they don't listen to us. Remember, COVID-19 is a pandemic. Information is key. If you don't provide information to the person, it's better the person to go and kill himself. So information is key. We want government to listen to us. Anytime the government is giving out messages in periods of pandemic, you talked about in cases of dangers. You talked about dangers here. But I will mention COVID-19. They were not listening to us. And we believe that people are also part of the Gambia, that they should also get access to those information, but they did not. They did not listen to us, you know. So I also want to thank Ministry of Education for supporting the synchronization of the Gambian Sign Language, because we believe that there are some little signs that are little variations. You know, in every country you go to, you have those kind of variations. But we have Ministry of Health, sorry, not Health. Sorry, not Health. I will reiterate that. It's not Health. Ministry of Education supporting this, and with the dictionary on Gambian Sign Language targeting school-going children, deaf children. It is on. It will be shared across the country very soon. And now that Ministry of Education is also supporting the polyvalent itinerant teachers that were not trained on sign language. At least they started training them on basic sign language. At least things will change. The government themselves are advocating for integration, mainstream education system. But we believe that is not effective. Look, deaf people's disability is different from other people's disability. Other people can hear, but deaf people cannot hear. When a teacher goes to a class and start explaining, if the deaf person is complete, if the person has complete deafness, the person will not benefit from what the teacher is saying. The person has to be taught on sign language if you want the person to benefit from what the teacher is saying. This year, we had good records of both deaf schools in the country. We have them scoring high grades, high number of high credits in the country. Garo Brikama School for the Deaf, this year they have 7 credits. They have numerous students that came out with 7 credits. And with St. John's School for the Deaf, we also had some students that also came out with flying colors, St. John's kind of thing. So we want to thank the Minister of Education for at least time started, because we know deaf education cannot go without sign language. Teachers at the Gambia College needed to be trained on at least basic sign language before they're even giving their certificate, before they even qualified. So this we want. This we definitely wanted. We really wanted that. We want them to at least know that deaf education cannot go without sign language. That is the message that I want to put across. And now, thank God, you know, under the leadership and Minister Dr. Halima Drame and Madam Anna Nancy Mendy, we're seeing some successes. But we are not seeing in other areas. And PWDs, if they are not supported, we will say it. Let me stop here for now.
Oh, Lamin, thank you so much. You know, I can see, you know how passionate, you are about, because I can see that, you've been working with, person with disability for so long. Lamin, it's just what we are saying. If you could interpret, what I'm saying, so it's going to, it's just simple things, Lamin. Remember, it's just about, logic, knowledge. And I always say that some of these people who are working in the Gambia in the big platform, they've all been here. They've been to America. They've been to Oxford University. These are the intellectual which they are the one who fail us. Because you cannot come into UK here, you see how accessible a university is. You go to Gambia, you see that that place is not accessible. So they know, and the they know if you are part of the UN, you know what the UN law says about person with disability. Those are clear. You understand? But a country which we don't even have the laws. That is not fair, Lamin. It is not fair, because person with disability, if you educate them, Lamin, you are reducing the burden. That's what these people do here. They educate you, you go and work, and you pay tax. So you are participating. But if we are not having that, in our country, and people are not even thinking about it, The only thing they could talk, is laws, but those laws are never implemented. I mean, it's very sad. It is a very sad nation. And I think this is the time for the person with disability in the Gambia, especially this 2026 is coming. This is the time for them to start acting, for them to start talking to their families. Yeah, we need to start talking to our families because it's very, very important. Because I don't want to support somebody which that is not going to implement my laws. It's not going to think about me. Remember, this is across all politics, in the Gambia. It's not only about the president, this thing, the state house, because the lawmakers also at the National Assembly and the community, the community, our family. There are some of our family, they discriminate us. There are people that are living with our families. Sometimes, as a disabled parent, it's very, very difficult. Because when you go out, they start discriminating you because the laws are not there. Now, when these laws are there, your next neighbor will not discriminate you. If you go out in the street, nobody is going to discriminate you. And I think that is very, very important, Lamin. These are some of the things that we are advocating. That's we are appealing to people. We are appealing to the government. We are appealing to everybody. We know that there are people who are trying. We know that there are some of these things, we cannot just achieve them just like that. But that little things you do is very, very important. In fact, one of the lady we're supposed to have here today, due to internet connection or whatsoever, I couldn't get through. It's difficult. She have to wheel from her house to a Johnson, which I really appreciate what the school is doing, because the school where she's teaching, they have a school bus. But again, from her home to the Johnson where she have to join the bus, is very far. And it's very sad to see her, her two children, they have to help the mother first before they go to school. And this mother is a single mom. For the fact that she's single, she is teaching, she is doing embroidery. So which means that she doesn't want to sit at home. She wants to do something. And because she's teaching, she's paying tax. She's paying tax. Because every teacher in the Gambia pay tax. So these are some of the difficulties that we are talking. If it was here, a vehicle will come to take her, every day. Like for me, that's what is happening to me. Every morning, my taxi will come here, and pick me. You understand? And then when it's time for me to go home, the taxi will come and bring me home. It takes me only 15 minutes to go and 15 minutes to come. That is making my job so easy. My place of work is so accessible. From the toilet, from the entrance, up to to the toilets or other places. Even our staff room is so accessible. Even the sink, the table where the sink where I normally wash my hands, there is a button which I can press if I want to lower it or take it up or down. So these are some of the things that we are talking, and I think that is very, very important. It is very, very important. This is things which that like people should be thinking, because we are left. People with disability are left. They just leave them, because if we talk about supporting us and it's not been implemented, what is the point? What is the point? And I'm urging, everybody in the Gambia, because I always say, when you are building your compound, especially those people in the diaspora, please, when you are building your houses, please think about access. Think about access. Hello, Alibaba. Hello, how are you? Yeah, Ansumana, tell them. Yes, it's important. Ansumana, welcome. Yeah, I don't know what was the problem, but it was very difficult, to get you in. Yes, thank you so much. Lamin, we have, Ansumana and Fatoumata. Fatoumata Jallow, the lady that we are supposed to, interview, but because they were having some issues, that's why uh, we couldn't get them. Ansuman, are you there?
Left.
Ansuman, are you there?
They left. They left.
Yeah, they left. Yeah, it looked like they left. I think they're having network issue. Yeah, but Lamin, what we are talking, Lamin, this is something which that whenever you talk about issues with people with disability, I'm so passionate. Sometimes I, I want to cry, Lamin, because I know that Lamin. I always keep repeating it. The privileges, the support as a person with disability, starting from the family, from our houses. When I came into the United Kingdom, the support I get from my family here. Because without their support, without their encouragement, in fact, most of the times, when I came here, I lack the confidence. But most of the time, my family, they support me. They always encourage me. And I think that is very, very important because Lamin, that's what we want. Because our families, they are very important to us. So if our family give us the support, and I'm sure it's gonna be when we go outside also, people will support us. Because sometimes some of these problems, also they could start, from our compounds, from our homes, and we are urging our families. They
So
should help us to do the advocacy. Hello,
I'm not cutting you.
Yes.
Just to say that right now, we are working with Action Aid. Currently, we are in Nyamina. We are in Nyamina East, working with Action Aid. Because Action Aid has been operating here for some time, but according to the observation,
can you do sign language whilst you are talking, Lamin?
People with disabilities in this area, in this part of the country, in Nyamina East, right, have not been receiving support. So Action Aid right now, we are working together with them currently to sensitize communities, different. Every day we visit a community. We have a discussion. We have a meeting with them. So the first thing that we inform them is disability. Nobody can remove disability from the society or from people. Disability is here to stay. Disability is stay. Right? But what the family do, we want them to accept people with disability. We want them. If they accept them, right, the society will accept them. And the country the Gambia as a country will also accept them. We have to accept people with disabilities. That's the first responsibility that we want communities to do. We should not laugh at them. We should not scoff at them. We should not mock them. We should embrace them. When we have our village meetings, our village activities, we have to make sure we bring them towards us. We have to make sure we take them to school, to learn, because we know education is very important. So these are the messages that we're trying to send to them. And we're receiving more feedbacks from them, from the community, and we hope something good is going to come out from there. Because Action Aid really had good intention to really support the people with disabilities in part of the country. So what I also want to add on what you said is we have to accept that disability happens to people. People should also love their children with disabilities, that their family members with disabilities, people them and love. Let me stop here and introduce, so I allow you to introduce them. Yeah,
yes, Lamin, thank you so much, Lamin. Thank you so much, Lamin. I know, you just, I'm just so happy, Lamin, seeing you here, talking about these issues. I'm so happy. Yeah, Ansumana, before we were, Ansumana, okay, yes, good. It looked like, we can see, Fatoumata. Hello, Fatoumata.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, I'm so sorry, Fatoumata, I know the network
Hello?
issue. Hello, Fatoumata, are you hearing me? I'm hearing a background noise. Hello, Fatmata. Yep. Fatmata, Tamara. Yeah, I'm someone. I'm not hearing. Fatmata. Yes, are you hearing me? Yeah.
Yes, I am.
Okay, good, good. Yeah. How are you? How are you? Yeah. Ansumana. Yeah. Lamin, are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, it look like they're having still not they're having issue, the internet problem. Yeah, and I'm hearing them, Ansumana.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not hearing, are you hearing me?
Very well.
Yeah, but is Fatima not hearing what I'm saying?
She's here. Yes.
Okay, Fatmata, welcome, Fatmata.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Now we have Lamin Sonko, who is going to interpret in sign language of what we are saying.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Fatmata, can you briefly just introduce yourself? Who is Fatmata Jallow?
I am Fatmata Jallow from Birkama Nyambai, a single parent with 3 kids. And a teacher.
Okay, Fatmata, where do you teach? Which school do you teach?
I teach at
Yeah, Ansumana, it looks like your connection is still not good. It's breaking.
It's not strong.
Yeah, the connection there is not strong, so that's the issue, because we are finding it very difficult to hear what you are saying.
Can we
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, we have to, we have to try next weekend and see, if we could, maybe we could go to a better place where we could start this thing, because it looks like, boy, it's breaking a lot.
Yeah. So I also have another, I'm also going to at 8:30.
Pardon?
I said I have another time.
Yes.
So I might stay long from.
Yes.
So saying if it's not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think I better drop Ansuman on what I say. Ansuman, I'm gonna drop you on Fatu, and we're gonna try next week.
Okay. No problem.
Yeah, we're gonna try, because it's breaking a lot. I'm not hearing what you are saying. I think it's the network, because the network that's the problem. So
Can you hear me now?
yes, I can hear you, but it's breaking.
Oh, okay. All right. So, okay, I just want to seize this opportunity to thank the Bakari Njai at the radio for streamlining, yeah, and all the other followers.
Yes, Ansuman, I'm hearing. Let's try, Fatu, because I'm hearing you. I don't know why. Let's try again.
Yes, hello, Kumar. I am Fatmata Jallow from Birkama Nyambai.
Okay, Fatmata. Yes, Fatmata, you are a physically disabled person. I've seen you on a wheelchair, and I've seen how you struggle in the Gambia, especially when I saw you, your children were wheeling you, and there was, water around there. I felt so bad. Now, what are some of the difficulties that you face when you are going to school?
The difficulty is the roads are very bad and I'm very far from the school. I have to wheel myself from my home to the junction to wait for the school bus.
Now, Fatmata, who owns the school bus?
The school bus is for the student, but we are just giving privilege teachers to use that bus. But it's for the students, not for teachers.
Okay, that's good. Now, Fatmata, every morning you wake up, you are a single mom, you live with your 3 children, and they have to help you to get to the road where you normally wear the bus. Now, have you ever spoke to the school or any government official, to see how they can support you to get either a taxi to take you from your home to the Johnson?
I'm trying. Some are promising, but not yet succeeded.
Where did you try? Where?
I have been trying so many places.
So now, now the support you need is that if somebody could help you to pay a taxi from your home to this thing to the Johnson where the bus picks you, which means that it's going to help you a lot.
What I want, if I told I have support, a taxi take me from my home to the school. When coming back, also bring me back because that is my struggle. Because even the bus is very tight and is high. For me to join the bus is very, very difficult.
Yeah. Do you know how much the cost of a taxi from your house to the Johnson?
That one I never tried, but the like monthly taxi they normally charge you $3,000 per month.
Okay. Also, have you also ever tried a taxi from your home to your school?
Yes, that one is they are charging you $300 to go alone.
That is from your home to the school.
Yes.
Month.
No.
Month is
Month is 3,000. Month is 3,000.
Okay. Guys, our listeners, Fatoumata Jallow is a physically disabled person, as you all have seen. And Sumana, when I'm talking, can you turn off your mic, please? Yes. Okay, guys, Fatoumata Jallow is a physically disabled person. She's a single mom, and she, sits on a wheelchair. She's a teacher at Mansakoli Lower Basic School in Birkama. Some of our difficulties is that is transportation, as you all have seen, in one of my flyer that I put on Facebook, where you see a picture of 2 kids, wheeling her. So that's the struggle she's facing Monday to Friday when she's going to work. We know that the school is providing a school bus, but this bus stop at a Johnson, which means that Fatmata has to wheel, with the help of our kids from her home to the Johnson. And it is proving very, very difficult, especially during the rainy season. And she just mentioned that, now $3,000 a month, could give her a taxi to take her, from her home to the school. I think that is very, very important and reasonable. If any of you guys who wants to help Fatmata, you are highly welcome. Before we go, she's going to share her number, then you can call her. Because remember, we're talking about disability issues. We're talking about access. We're talking about inclusion. We're talking about disability participation as a nation building. And I think that is very, very important. And I'm urging, also the government, the politicians, anybody which that who listen to what we are saying, please help this single mom. Remember, she is a single mom with 3 children. Moreover, sitting on a wheelchair. That is very, very hard. Please help her. If anybody, wants to help her, you can get in touch with me. You can get in touch with Ansumana Sano. We are all on Facebook. And also, we're going to share the number here because this woman is so determined. She's so determined. Every in the morning, she said that she normally have to wake up 5 a.m. 5 a.m. so that she'll be able to catch that bus. And I'm urging the school also, if they could also find another means of helping her, where, they could either get a taxi, the taxi could get her from her home to the junction where she normally, catch the bus. But we also know that how difficult it is because she's saying that, the bus also, you have to climb because I know the feeling as a disabled person. Because in the United Kingdom here, I don't need to get off my wheelchair. No, every bus has a place where they call this a wheelchair area. Even if you meet an elderly person or somebody else, they will get up and that space is written there. That's what we call law. That's what we call law and privilege, because that is very, very important. If people with disability in the Gambia have this thing, definitely it's really going to help. But, unfortunately, we are not having it. This lady is really struggling. Remember, she have to go work because, she need to feed the kids. She need to feed herself. She need to look, get things which, that could help them as a family. And it is very, very hard, to travel to school. Traveling is very, very, very important because if you cannot travel, if you don't have that access, to travel, you'll not be able to do what you want. You'll not be able to, be able to do your job properly. I am doing my job at the moment because I have what we call access to work. Access to work in the United Kingdom means as a disabled person, they help you to get to work. Because they don't want you to say that, as a disabled person to say, because of the distance, that I won't be able to go to work. So that's why they provide this support for you. Even if it is not that, I have what we call a bus pass. A bus pass as a disabled person, you get it every 2 or every 3 years. You travel buses and trams for free. And this is very, very important because this is very encouraging. Maybe if I don't have this, it would have been very difficult. I'll be sitting at home, becoming miserable. Because it's very good, because when you go to work, you feel that you have done something, how important it is. Anyway, I'll be talking here till tomorrow because I know how important this is to me. Yes, Fatmata, right now I've informed people, anybody who want to support you. Fatmata, can you tell people your number, your telephone number, so in case if somebody listens and here, they could call you direct. Remember, all we are interested is to support Fatmata, because Fatmata goes to school every day, Monday to Friday. She have to wake up 5 a.m., with the help of her. Remember, even those kids, it's not even, it's not good for them, because remember, they have to help their mom. Because they are using more energy, which means that before they get to school, maybe they are tired. When they go to school, maybe they will not be able to concentrate. And I think this is very, very important. Fatmata, can you tell people your number so that if anybody, who want to support you could call you directly to your number, anybody who want to help you to get a taxi to school or any other support, please.
Yes, 708 2377.
Yeah, repeat.
708 2377 or 3219106 or 3219106. That's my Christian line.
Oh, thank you so much, Fatmata. Thank you so much, Fatmata. Okay, Fatmata, I know that we don't have much time because, you had some issues with connection. Can you just turn the mic off, please, Ansumana? Okay. Yes. What I was saying, I know that, we don't have much time, because, you were led to join us. But Fatmata, you said that you are a teacher and you also do embroidery. Can you also elaborate more about your teaching, some of the struggle you face, and so like your petty business, the embroidery also, some of the struggle you face, please?
Yes, the petty business I face when I go to school, I only Saturday and Sunday I normally go and sell them, try to sell them, so that my children will have lunch. Because without selling those ones, before the month end, I will be nothing. So my children will not have lunch. So that's why I don't have any weekend. I work from Monday to Sunday because of my kids. Because my salary, when I take out my rent, house rent, I will be left with nothing. So that's why I have no weekends. I normally struggle from Saturday to Sunday. Even Sunday, I normally go for my petty business.
Oh, thank you so much, Fatma. Thank you so much. That is so emotional. Guys, you are hearing the story. This woman works 7 days in a week, 7 good days in a week. Remember, uh, we need time to rest. We need time to rest. So for this woman, to be able to work 7 good days, which means that she don't have time to rest, and which means that she's a very strong woman. So remember, you have to pay your rent. Rent, that is very, very important, because if you don't pay your rent, the landlord, will evict you. Moreover, you have to feed your children. Three children, 3 kids. Guys, it's not easy even to feed one child. Anybody who hear this story, please help this lady, help her, because for her to be able to continue to do her teaching and to be able to do her petty business, she need that support. Now, Fatmata, you do petty business. Can you tell us what type of petty business you do? I know that you did mention that you say you do embroidery, but what are some of the stuff that you do?
Yes, those are the petty business I do because I'm a skillful person. I do embroidery, tie and dye, and crochet. So I normally go around the Senegambia and other places or in offices. Those who are opening weekends, I say show them what I'm doing. So will buy and support, even though they don't need it.
Oh yes, that's very good of them. Definitely, that's very good of them. Because to support a disabled child, you are supporting the nation, because you are encouraging that individual. You are telling that individual, I don't want you to sit at home, or I don't want you to sit in the street to start begging. These are some of the things, definitely people should to think. People should think, at the back of their mind, so that, they could support disabled people, so that they could fight for the cause of disability. I think that is very, very important. Now, Fatmata, you say you are a teacher. I know that, when you talk about the word teaching, it reminded me. I was a teacher myself. It was, I've seen, on the picture that, the way you are using that stick pointed on the blackboard. Now, what are some of the difficulties? Because when I was in school teaching, we used to use chalk, at one time, because maybe the blackboard was so high, I used to sit on the arm of my wheelchair. When I sit on the arm of my wheelchair, that's the time where I can reach the top of the blackboard. Now, those are challenges which I was facing. And there were some classroom also, they were not accessible. Now, can you tell me some of the challenges you are facing, Fatmata? You are facing currently, as a teacher?
Yes, anyway, that problem, I don't have that much problem because they provide a chalkboard for this thing for me, marker, whiteboard for me, whereby I will able to write. And secondly, all over the school there is RAM, so I don't have any problem. And the way they arrange the class also, my wheelchair can go freely. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. That school, we should definitely celebrate for that school, because number one, that school is providing a bus. We know that the bus is for the student, you understand, but again, they're allowing you just to support you. Moreover, they're giving you also access. Secondly, even the blackboard is so accessible for you. I think that school, we should celebrate for that. That is very important. Thirdly, your wheelchair, because for me, sometimes I used to struggle with my wheelchairs, going, in between the students. But if you are having that, Fatma, definitely that is brilliant, and I definitely thank that school. I think this is something which that all schools, especially government schools, should be doing, because you as a teacher, as a person with disability, you should be given that access, and that is very, very important. And I'm so happy, Fatma, that on that area you are not facing challenges. They provided marker for you. The blackboard is accessible for you, and secondly, even the classroom also is accessible, where if you want to interact with the children, because that's very important. If you are a teacher, you need to interact with the children. Even the child at the back, of the wall, you should be able to get there so that you interact with them, because sometimes there are some children, you have to go there in case if they want you to explain more. That is very, very important. That's some of the things which that I was not having, in some of the government schools, I was teaching, and I really thank that school, and we really, we need to celebrate, to that school. Yes, Fatmata, you've mentioned about, some of the challenges, you face. Now, can you tell me some of the challenges you're facing as a single mom? Because being a single mom, we know that it's not easy. Even if you are not a single mom, as a woman in the Gambia, it is very, very difficult. Moreover, being a single mom. Can you tell us, some of the biggest challenges you are facing, Fatmata, as a single mom?
The biggest challenging I'm facing now, because I have no rest. I cannot rest. Because when they are sick, I have to get up. And nowadays, Gambia to health care is very, very, very difficult. It's so difficult. Treatment alone. You have to go to the pharmacy, buy medicine. When this one lying down, the following week this one also. So anyway, I am feeling a very, very much challenge about my kids. Apart from the feeding, their health condition, and their small, small problems, bloating. No, you know how children are.
Yes. It looks like you are having another mobile that is echoing. Can you this thing stop that mobile? And secondly, Fatu, we are not seeing you. People want to see you, because people want to see you so that they know if they want to support, they are supporting Fatumata. We are not seeing you, Fatumata. All we are seeing is the wall. Can you please face the camera so that we can see you, Fatu, please?
Hello?
Very good. Yes, the camera, we are not seeing you, Fatu, very well, Yeah, just, people even want to see your wheelchair. It's very important. So, yes, Fatu, you were saying that, you have some difficulties, especially, how expensive the healthcare, in the Gambia. We all know that, because healthcare, not even in the Gambia, it is very always expensive, for healthcare. Guys, you can see Fatu, she's sitting on a wheelchair. She's a single mom with 3 children, a teacher, and also she does a petty business. As you heard before, she works 7 days in a week. Even myself, I cannot do that. 7 good days in a week, because you need at least 2 days, to rest. Because we know that every battery, you need to recharge your battery so that you'll be able to be more active and do your job. Now this woman is not having that, because she got 3 children, because the salary she got as a teacher is not enough, cannot sustain the family. This is a story which is so touching. And I'm appealing to Gambians. We know that Gambians, our brothers and sisters, are very, very kind. They are very good. Even non-Gambians. Everybody is invited, to come and help this single woman, to come and help her. She's a single mom with 3 children and physically disabled person. So which means that, she's affected in 3 ways. Number one, being single. Number two, physically disabled. Number three, 3 children to feed. We know how hard it is nowadays. She mentioned some of the difficulties she's facing. Transportation from home to the school, feeding, health, because we all get sick. When we get sick, we have to go to the hospital. If we don't go to the hospital, then we'll not be able to cure. And I think that is very, very important, because if you see Fatu today is working 7 days, she is healthy. But if she is not healthy, she will not be able to do that. And that will end up, as a disabled person, you become so frustrated, you staying at home, you start thinking, some of them end up trying to harm themselves. There are some disabled people, because of the situation that they are facing, they end up having mental depression. When you have mental depression, the next thing you think of suicidal, you think of all other things. I think that is very, very important. I think it's high time, Gambia, we know, you are our brothers and sisters. We need your support. We know there are good people, there are kind-hearted people over there, but this is a woman that needs the support, and she needs it right now. The urgency is there. It is there. Maybe in the next few years, Patty will not be able to go to school. She will not be able to do her job. Remember, teaching is passion. It is very, very important. Teaching is passion. Because some people go and do teaching because they want to help the kids. Those kids that you teach, you are helping them. You are helping their families. And I think that is very, very important, because you are participating to a nation building. You are paying tax. So I think that's why the society, the government, the people should be able to help you. They should be able to support you. They should be able to make sure that everything is easy for you to be able to do your job. I think I've been saying, a lot. But guys, anybody who want to support her, you are highly welcome. Okay, Ansumana.
Yes, sir.
Ansumana, you heard, what Fatu said. Right now, you are with Fatoumata there. You've seen the condition, Fatoumata is. Because for me, maybe I'm not seeing it, but you've seen, I think from the way I'm looking, even the house, the wall, it looked like, it's not been very, very conducive. Now, what can you tell about Fatu issues, in the Gambia, some of the things she's struggling, especially where she's living with the kids and Sumana? What can you, say, please?
Yeah, thank you so much for giving me the floor. Yeah, as persons with disability, Falmata is no exceptional. It's no exception to what we face daily. She is a single mom with 3 kids and coupled with disability. So altogether, it's difficult for everybody, but Falmata is a different ball game. I knew her not today, and she has been benefiting from our wheelchair and some of our projects that we were running before the COVID-19. That's where I knew her, and then she is that determined and hardworking lady, because all what Farmata does is to work the whole day from school. She has to do some works, and then during the weekends she has to go and sell those that she was working on.
I'm not
Yeah.
cutting you. I'm not cutting you.
Yeah.
I've seen Mohammed Sao, Lamin Sisa has pledged 3 months for Fatmata to support her to go to school. Oh, that's brilliant. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Lamin Sisa. Thank you so much. Guys, this is what we want to hear. I'm smiling now. 3 good months, Lamin Sisa, one of our colleagues, we were in another meeting. He always followed this platform. Thank you so much, Mr. Saha. Thank you so much. And Sumana, for Fatimata, I let us start smiling. Fatimata.
No, I'm
Fatimata, yes, Fatimata, thank you so much. Thank God, just keep praying, keep doing what you are doing. Yes, okay, and Sumana, continue what you are saying.
Yes, Farmada is renting. Farmada is renting with the 3 kids, and then the same time, a single mother. So renting itself is a problem. Number two, being a single parent is another thing, and you look at the family size also is another thing. And from where I am, where I visited her today, uh, security wise it's not ideal for a person with disability, because since I came in, I met her, I found her only with the 3 kids. It's isolated, closer to a graveyard, in fact. And there is no ramp in her, to create accessibility for her. Although I've not entered the room, but we are sitting under the veranda, and even the veranda don't have a ramp. And to me, I'm not satisfied. I'm not happy with what is happening. But this is what she can afford, and then we thank God that people are now coming in. So let's see how best can we help Farimata to change her life. Yes, yes. Thank you so much.
So, Ansumana, I don't know, Ansumana, this is just so sad, why? Because security is very important for a person with
Yes,
disability.
yes, 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 yes.
Because when we talk about, uh, issues and other stuff, it's very easy, for bad things to happen to a person with disability, because it's difficult for you to protect yourself. So you go in there seeing, the situation, how it is so sad. But guys, we are appealing. Remember, if Fatmata, get money, she will be able to get a better place to rent. She will be able to get a better place. In fact, she might even get a place closer to the school, where which
That's
that
right.
she might not need transportation or something like that, because that is very, very important. Because your place of home security is important. If you don't have security, you'll be going to bed without sleeping. Especially this woman got 3 children. Now, in case if somebody want to come and rob their stuff or something like that, she'll not be able to, to defend herself and the children. And this is very, very important. I know there are good guys there. There are people who have good heart who want to support. Fatmata is a single mom living with 3 children. And my colleague Ansumana Sano, who is right now there with her, is saying that the place where she's living is not been very conducive security-wise. So this is some of the issues. If anybody who want to support her, to get a better place, or if anybody got a better place where you could help her, you could lodge her, is definitely is highly going to be very, very, very much welcome. Ansumana. Okay,
Yes.
Fatma,
Now,
what you are saying now, can you say it in this thing, in Fula or Mandinka or Olof?
yes, yes.
Okay, just summarize what you have said, Ansumana, can you just put, because we are not seeing her, we are seeing the ceiling for the veranda.
Ko minen tawa gondi ɗon mbiyon luwa mbiyon mbaɗa luwa school mo woɗɗi noon mo woɗɗi mbeddamo no bete ko 5 o'clock min immoto mi finira sukaɓe min lota para min juula min pokkita si seɓin tawmin ma galle ɗo ren min keɓata min jahata school because bos mo accanmi bos mo wona pour ticcaɓe ko pour studinaɓe rek ko noon ko allah poppurayo to mo moƴƴi mo de ko weeƴi kam privilège pour min waɗa jooni bos mo min e sukaɓe am ɓe eyi mo moƴƴi eyi joni noon ko min e sukaɓe ɓe woni ɗo ɗo luumi ɗo noon ko min tani maɓe woni ɗon te peron mo ala ram ko mbela moƴƴi a nanggato moƴƴi a nanggato so mbiɗo naata so mbiɗo funtane mbela moƴƴi nanggato moƴƴi nanggato somi funta kono ɓe mbi bega have no choice jaltintoɗo kala ko heɓi kono yaadata eyi wona wondi tan ɗum waɗi comfortable kono ɓay ko ɗon kelli ko ɗon mbawmi won eyi
Okay, Ansumana.
Yes, sir.
Fadu, he said that, I could remember that, because sometime, where I was living in the Gambia is the same thing. When I come, the wheelchair, they used to lift it to get inside.
Yes, yes.
You
I
understand?
agree.
So, Ansumana, is there any chance, where we could speak to the landlord and then see if the landlord could allow us to, to do a ramp? Because remember, we don't have those laws in the Gambia, so we cannot force, somebody because the law is not there. But we have to plead to landlord, if we could make a ramp, in the Gambia. It does. So if you could speak to the landlord, because as at now, if we could see, if we could, try and do a ram, a small ram where when she come, then she will be able to go. They will just wheel her and they get it. Because that is very important. Because remember, those kids are too young. And for those kids to be lifting their mom all the times, they might hurt themselves. And secondly, if something happened accidentally, even the mom also, might hurt herself. And I think that is very important because we're talking about health and safety here. Health and safety is very, very important because if she fall, she might break her bones or the kids. And remember, it's about those kids, Ansumana. Those kids are young, remember. They are not strong. So for those kids to be lifting their mom, that is very, very sad. That is very, very sad. And Sumana, find out and see if you could speak to the landlord, and then we will take it from there. Definitely, I'll be very, very happy to see if we could do a ram for her, and Sumana. Yeah, it looked like Ansumana is frozen, the network. Yeah, guys, we are talking about Fatoumata Jallow. Yes, yes. Are you back, Ansumana? Yeah, guys, we are talking about Fatoumata Jallow. Fatoumata Jallow is a single mom living in Birkama. She's a teacher and she does petty business. She's living with 3 children. She got lots of difficulties. Number one is transportation from her home to the main Johnson where the school bus picks her and take her to the school. Number two is feeding. Having 3 children, we all know how difficult it is, to feed kids. Number three, is healthcare. We all know that health is very, very important because if you are not healthy, you will not be able to go to work or you will not be able to be doing your family is business and stuff like that. Number three, access. Yes, right now, one of my colleagues who is there, Mr. Ansumana Sano, he's there. Ansumana Sano find that the place is not accessible. So we are appealing to people. Remember, this woman is having lots of problems. We are really appealing to people, anybody who want to help. Thank you so much, Mohammed Sao. Mohammed Sao, thank you so much for pledging 3 months. We want people to come and support this lady. Remember, this lady need the support like more than all of us. This lady need the support because for her to be able to do, her job, she need the support of transportation. She need the support of feeding. If we can even get support, for house rent where we could relocate her to closer to the school is going to be very, very, very good for this lady. But it looked like they have dropped off, because of a connection. Earlier, we were talking with Lamin Sonko. Lamin Sonko, unfortunately, also he has dropped off, But Lamin Sonko is also a sign language interpreter. He is the president of the sign language interpretation in the Gambia. You know, he has cited some of the difficulties that people with hard of hearing are facing because language communication is very, very important. Without the communication, they will not, be able to understand from what we are saying, or we will not be able to understand from what they are saying. Yes. So it looks like Fatmata is here now. Hello, Ansumana. Ansumana. Yeah, hello, Ansumana. It looks like we're having network issues in the Gambia. Yes. So Latin was here. He had said it all. He had said some of the challenges that
Yes,
person with disability facing in the Gambia. So these are some of the things that people should be talking about. These are some of the things that people should be thinking, ways to help disabled people to be included in our society, for disabled people not to be discriminated, because we all know how crazy it is when you see me as a wheelchair user. You are pointing at me, you are calling me all sort of names, especially one of the craziest things in the Gambia is those names where they call you all sort of names. Ki Lafanyla, Gumbola, all those things, it's not necessary. I'm a human being, and I'm Usman Jallow. I don't want you to call me that name. Call me my name. Look at me as anybody. Look at me as any human beings, I don't want you to look at me, as a person sitting on a wheelchair. So that is very, very important. And these are some of the things that we are urging all politicians, stakeholders, to think about our disability bill that is lying down there, that is not being implemented. This is a bill which, since 2021 is lying down there, it's been signed, it's been ratified, but nothing is happening. Because today, if that bill was happening, it was active, then people like Fatoumata will not be struggling. Yeah, they won't be struggling, because anybody who would discriminate them, they could go to the law. Even the government, you can even take the government to court if they are not doing the right thing for the person with disability. But today we cannot do that because the government is not implementing that law. And I think that is very, very important. And to be frank, this Fatoumata, she's a very strong woman, very, very strong. 3 children, being single, being a disabled person, going to work every day, Sundays and Saturdays, which you know that you're supposed to rest, doing petty business, which means that no time to rest. And our body needs time to rest, because if we don't rest, it's going to affect our body. Who knows? Access, even the place where she's renting. And this is one of the problems, because a few years ago when I was in Kairaba Avenue, that's when I was talking to these business owners. In fact, I've seen some political places, political bureau, which, they don't even have access. They are very high. I've seen some media, which, that they are 2, 3 floors. As a disabled person, how can I go there? These are some of the things that when you are renting a house, when you are renting a building for your business, you need to check if the place is accessible. Remember, disabled people also are customers. They come and buy. But if the place is not accessible, you are losing customers. And these are some of the issues that these are just common sense for people to think. You don't need to go to a university to think about these issues. No. Because remember, you have 2 legs, you walk, you get into a building. You need to think about, that person also who is using a wheelchair, that person also who is using a wide cane. They need to have access, because we've seen that many visually impaired, in fact, because of the structures that, are around on the road, they keep bumping into places. I've seen it. I was in the Gambia. I was working at school for the blind. I've seen it. I've seen people bumping, areas because, the places are not accessible. All you will hear is mass. I'm sorry. People are tired of that. We don't want to hear that. We want people, to respect us. We want people to be able to fight for our cause. And that is very, very important. Okay, Mbadi Mande call being told diamo ni wala mo force nga Lamin Sonko atemu mo meala ko anin mo meala ko ibuka moiro ke anin wolbe do kola. So Lamin Sonko ate mo meala ko ni moiro diamo da atleka futandi mo meala ko ye moiro no. So Lamin I fen jamala fojang meala ko boy bata meala ko boy lanjurtol meala ko ibuka moiro ke I fen jama fojang. And donc ay mansakunda dani ay politician ol dani ay ndolla korda molbe community ay molbe dani pour molbe sina kana ka lanjurtol sembentia because lanjurtol akumada baki ni lanjurtol sembente amunta ko lanjurtol abita karangola nya karanta ata fana abe doko sotola an ata fana abala family sotla ikaje nya doko soto abe namo jola kato momo doko soto dunia kono e ka namo le jo andu won namo mansukunda ka wole use aka development natin tolla dulaldo bari nyim development nata me ala ko amang lanjurtol nafa wo manke development me ala ko anyanta ka molbe nafa because walatna lanjurtol ka fo inclusive ndol bele mo me ala ko boy ay men soto lanjurto fana nyanta ka wo soto so wo kumata bake ndemul lanjurtole de ndengalon birimbe no gambia nka bata nyame bari jang ye lanjurtol muta nyame jang ndara da lafta kata da be futala je ngara do ko wala ni wulta somonda mansale ka moto nati atle ka jo wole na ay samba do ko da ay murundi ni tara na do ko dula fana na pusu so fen buka kale lafta kata dawo dan kata je wo kuma da bake ndol lanjurton sulata wala ndol ka men nyini ma fo ale kodol di mola ma fo ale milingol di mola anin kudol nko alsikuo bete ande ntolye alsikuol bete andi nyaadi wolemu nin tol lafita ka fuda dahoda nsi fuda noje ma fo ali sano di mola hani bari alka fuda damen don tol fana lafita ka fuda je alkata karan damen tol fana lafita ka karanje bari politicien o buka diamun tol la kuol sak e buka diamun tol la kuol ikaje boy ite mu promo politicien o ite me ala ko palaso be bulu mansa kunda ite me ala ko ibe business wala hanye lanjurto je silo kan ibuka lo ye lanjurto mako lanjurto jamal be je me ala ko bi ibe social media dol man pusol soto dol be sasarine bari molbe diani molbe be deri wo ma betea so nte si tarno jam fo sama ka diamul lanjurto la kola ha ndola mola second topic wala mu musudobe je me ala ko ika fa Fatoumata Jallow ate abi birkama nyambay Fatoumata Jallow mu ticaleti ani ala din saba kewta bulu Fatoumata ka wuli nya wulta ala kordado ako ila school o ye boso soto bari boso ka stop Johnson o dula dodo so Fatoumata ala dindingol le ka pus ni wole ya pus wala ya samba fo Johnson o ay dum boso kono andu womu koleade aka kolea soto yes aka kolea soto je bake so Fatoumata a lafta molsa makoy are you back asma mati yeah sorry yeah they are having a network issue so wo Fatoumata somonda juno aka wuli ani ala ding in fact ngala notaloji ani dingol ka pus nyame mbele ngawoje balafa ta bake because nte ngalon ne bo nte ka bata no nyame o sifal Fatoumata saabe je din sabo babul akada karamodo ako abuka fonyo comme mol me ala ko boy ni tata addo ko la Monday be for Friday dol ka fonyo bo at least Saturday Sunday bari ata abuka fonyo because din sabale babulu nya fonyota amonta ko kote benna suwo kono katum aka salary men soto wo buka la renjo asala dinngol be domorendi ani dinngol la school fees so ani dinngol la material so walatina aka petty business ke Saturday Sunday wo jube hadabadingo inyanta ka daha anyanta ka daha momo lafta ka nyim Fatmata makoy dolla nyi audio to je ala number beje nte fana beje nyen contact mbal fengola mbal la number de la alia contact directly ala mo mako enta na kotoke dobe je woto mom be karangola makati woko aba mako la kari saba taxi because wo taxi ba mako la ando abala dingol mako la fana because ala dingol amonta ko wol mu dindingol leti ni wole ke la bama push wo asi dindingol affect no asi sasa nati hani dindingol so wala tan dolbe sirin janne kadiamu lanju to la kola katun dol kom ka fo nyamen dol membe ka taraka sirin jang dol akata nyawonya ko be fiserin because BBB inte kom ka fo nyamen ko be fiserin na modol me ala ko e be yiro fana ila ko be fiserin because nga support men soto jang an yemol horma nyame yemol bunya nyame because hada badingo ye bunya ani hormo soto ye support soto bari Gambia wala mo problem odi ñi mu lanjur tolti amunta ko ite mo jama mo buke konti sak ibuke konti ando wa man fair kadon tol mo be hada madingote lanjur te mo buka sang marché odo de te ka wala wes fofo den nani lanjur to masa marché odo de hani ando lanjur te al asinano at any time for whether e wuluta any lanjur tola o e kebata any lanjur tola asinano at any time ando lanjur te asinano cordado because wo kumata bake bibi Gambia nyal mal lanjutol soto alla suwo kono next nebo wo lanjutol soto o ale tero soto o ye molong me aloko ila badi ngolem ay lanjutol soto so wo kumata bake e diamo jamfata bake benin sirin jam benin around 6 o'clock nyanta kata tabirola bari momo sinyi muso makoy din sabale babulo ako hani korda abe damen tuje nya nata wilci abuka access no pour kadung ala ko fengoto ala bunkono so ala dindingol walla ba cikala imagine wo dindi merenton wol sa cikano ibesi boyno ye barma ise la singol katino ise la bulo katino wo be sikeno so momo sa mako no ndol we will make sure that way nga jube kordatio because luwa mantara Gambia men si cement lanjutola foyeta in landlord diam kata nyen luwa beje every landlord me aloko ika bungo di disablola mo me aloko bo lanjutola inyanta ka access keje bari luwa mantara je nyen luwa mantara je landlord kodatiol ilafta mengo mena itol ila kodo doron so but ntol ba trailer ntol nga landlord nga diamo so nga jube fo be ram kelaje because ram is very simple, it's not difficult. You can do rams in different ways. You can do a wooden ram, you can do a ram by cement, you can do ram by metal. These are not things which they are very expensive or difficult. No, maybe near cement board killing sort of wrong abanda, you can do a simple ram. She's not asking a big ram, the whole, whatever. It's just a simple ram. Simple ram, mealako as a seleno. So wo kumata bake. Yo, kom ka fo nyameng Fatoumata atafana atatale ngamira network olem. But I'm thanking Lamin Sonko. Lamin Sonko, thank you so much for coming here. We are hoping that you will be coming here to help us, to interpret, because we want our fellow people with disability, hard of hearing, to also, to know that this platform is for all. Because I'm a physically disabled person, that doesn't mean that, this platform, we're only going to be talking about maybe the person who is sitting on a wheelchair or what. No, disability is inclusive, whether you are hard of hearing, whether have other type of disability, physical disabled or visual impaired. This platform is for all, and we will bring them one after the other. We will bring them to come and narrate their stories. We are here to narrate our stories, to tell the people that because I am a disabled person, I shouldn't be hiding it. I should come here and talk about it. Because I'm a wheelchair user, I shouldn't accept people to be discriminating me. No. So that is, and we are here to speak to policymakers. We are here to speak to the government. We are here to speak to our leaders from the lowest to the highest, so that they will hear our voice one day, and then they implement, our laws. They implement some of the things, that could include us in our society. And I think that is very, very important. So I will cut it from here now, and we are hoping next Saturday also we'll be here live and start talking about things affecting people with disability. Thank you so much, Fatoumata, for being so brave to come here, because we know how difficult it is as a disabled person to be coming on social media to talk about yourself. Recently, I'm seeing many, many disabled people coming on Facebook, which I'm very, very happy. Come, let us show our disability to the people. There is nothing to hide. There is no place to hide. Because I'm a wheelchair user, if I am crawling, I should tell people I am crawling. No. So this is very, very important. But thank you so much, guys, for all our listeners. Thank you so much to all our viewers. Thank you so much to all our supporters. We really appreciate this. And remember, without you guys, we will not be here. Because if we want to talk to ourselves, we cannot talk to ourselves. We are talking to you guys, so that you could help us to spread the message. And that is very, very important. Albarka Bake, thank you so much. See you next Saturday. Okay. Take care. Assalamu alaikum. Bye-bye. Bye. Ansumana, thank you. Bye. Thank you, Lamin. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.